The following video features excerpts taken from 4 recorded live lessons on creating an acrylic sketch on watercolor paper. For more on how you can access this complete lesson series, as well as the other live lessons, video courses, ebooks, and much more, visit thevirtualinstructor.com/members or click on the card in the upper right-hand corner. I can kind of look at relationships that are happening. I can see how far away that is from the edge of the picture plane and how far away this is from the edge over here. And then I can take that information and kind of estimate where it might be on my drawing surface. And I'm just going to put a little mark there for right now. And don't be afraid to make lots of different lines as you're kind of finding things out, kind of finding the overall form. And as I'm drawing things out, I'm just kind of breaking the stem into shapes. I'm actually just going to reinforce a few of these lines here. But you can see how much negative space is left up there at the top and how much is left at the bottom. So each time I'm just getting a little bit of water. And I want to be careful here as I'm bringing the gray down that I don't paint around the whole subject here. I'm going to bring this dark value all the way around the edge here. We'll just let that overlap. And I'm going to pull that color down into that darker value. I'm kind of glazing this red over the top of some of the darker areas. Some of the darker areas are maybe a little bit too blue, and kind of glazing over the top with that red. And here again, I'm going to kind of pull the brush to kind of mimic the texture. And try to follow the cross contour lines here. And this is the pure color without any mixture, and it might be too strong. So we might need to tone it down a little bit, but we'll go ahead and put it on and see here. And it's when we add these highlights up here at the top when things are really going to pop. But we have to patiently get to that point. You know, it's so tempting to just jump right in and start painting those highlights. And I'm just going to let my brush get a little bit looser in some areas to kind of help create that texture. That's just an organic kind of loose texture that happens on the cherries here. So I'm actually going to start with some of the lighter values that happen in the highlight. Let's just go ahead and put down a strong indication of that right now. And this is thinned out with water, of course. Okay, so again, I'm just going to continue making some of the lighter values a little bit lighter, layering on top, putting some of the color down, and if the shapes aren't exactly right with the way I want them, I'm just going to pull it out with a little bit of water while it's still wet on the surface. It appears like there's these little subtle lines that happen as the highlight kind of fades out. So I'm going to include those little subtle indications. I'm not using very much paint at all. Again, just kind of scrubbing it into the tooth of the watercolor paper. And kind of look at the dark and light areas, and I'm just going to go ahead and start filling in some of the dark areas here initially. And also keep in mind that it's the relationship of everything together that really makes a painting or drawing work. So a lot of times we're working in one area, and we're thinking, oh my gosh, this area just is not working. There's just no way this is right. And we start to get away from trusting what we're seeing. And we should step back again, like I said, every once in a while, and just kind of look at things all together. And that's a better way to evaluate how things are going. All right. Here it is in my hand, carbon black. You can see by the container that it has not been opened very much in its lifetime. There are just a few tiny wrinkles in the tube. But yes, it's getting opened now. So I'm going to add another color to the palette here. And scrub the edge there too. Just kind of work it into the tooth of the paper. All right. Just want to make sure I'm not resting my finger in an area where the paint is still wet. So I'm kind of comparing with the other side, and I'm trying to make sure that I bring at least this lighter value up to the same height as I had it on the other side. Kind of judging just above where it is. Because then we can kind of create a little bit more of a transition down into the darker area of shadow there. All right, so let's go ahead and start adding this. And this is definitely a lot more pink than what's happening in the image, but it's probably going to work. It'll probably look pretty convincing. So I'm just going to pull some of that darker value with the brush unloaded. So there's just a little bit of paint left in there, but I'm just going to soften up that edge just a little bit. All right, so I think I'm going to call this one finished. If you're ready to learn more about drawing and painting, then why not check out our comprehensive membership program, which includes video courses, weekly live lessons, ebooks, lesson plans, and much, much more. To learn more about the program, just click on the button in the center of your screen or click on the card in the upper right-hand corner.